afternoon and welcome to Teleislas News, the most relevant and important information of the day. The departmental government held the Electoral Committee and at the same time National Register Office carried out the drawing of jurors.
Since 8 o'clock in the morning, the National Registrar's Office, with representatives of the political parties and the control and guarantee entities such as the Attorney General's Office, carried out the drawing of the jurors who will be in the voting stations this May 29th in the presidential elections. At the same time, the departmental government held the Electoral Committee where they defined all the logistics that will be available at the different voting points.
In this event, this is a special event that we have in the program for the election of President of Colombia. We just having the fortune to establish all the judge them that will be here accompany all the table them that in San Andres. Yeah, we had some simulacra that we see three phases that we could see how to manage, and then we have a definite team with the program that will be all the rest who will be our representing in our table, that we will be the president them and who managing all the table them in the different sector of this island.
Within the committee, they also defined with the Health Secretariat how the biosecurity measures will be handled in the voting points after the new guidelines of the Ministry of Health.
Given the problem of the occupation of public spaces in the coastal areas of San Andres, where there is evidence of businesses construction on the beaches, various departmental entities are advancing strategies to combat this type of invasion.
Coralina hosted the Interinstitutional Committee for the Defense of Public Use Assets, which seeks to recover coastal and offshore spaces that are being occupied by third parties and belong to the state. During the meeting, actions were defined to eradicate this problem that is occurring on the island.
It is of vital importance the defense and protection of these goods of public use, and in such virtue, we summoned this extraordinary meeting with the purpose of raising a roadmap, a work plan with the purpose of doing things as they should be done. At this moment, we already have an inventory, and it is precisely within the framework of this committee that the evaluation of this inventory is made in order to facilitate technical and legal decision-making and thus make decisions for the respective restitutions or sanctions that may arise.
Among the actions to be implemented by the entities that make up the committee is the profiling of the sites already identified, taking action against the environmental damage caused by the constructions, and restoring the spaces.
In other news, the energy company of the Archipelago Department has agreed to provide training and workshops to the community in general and to all those interested in the subject of electricity, energy saving, good management of households, appliances, and refrigeration equipment. Workshops that will begin in June and culminate in October. Let's see what it is about.
The island's energy company informs the community and public opinion that together with B Energy, FENOGE, and the Ministry of Mines and Energy, has joined in conducting training sessions for all those interested in energy efficiency, good management of household appliances, and energy-saving equipment.
Vamos a trabajar 6 cursos dirigidos totalmente.
We are going to work on 6 courses that are specifically aimed at technical personnel. We were also going to work on 13 informative type programs for the public in general. The first 6 courses are for technicians and people interested in photovoltaics, 4 in San Andres and 1 for grid injection in Providence Island. We are going to do one that is totally different, which is on the refrigeration part. The other 2 workshops or courses for general personnel will be 12 for the island of San Andres and 1 for the island of Providence, for a total of 13 workshops for the general public.
For people interested in participating in these trainings for technical levels, it is extremely important to have knowledge about the subject to be analyzed, which in this case would be electrical, and at least a technical degree is required. Likewise, it is also important that the personnel involved in the issue of refrigeration, they must have experience or basic knowledge regarding this topic. In the courses that are for the community in general, any person can participate.
Cuando se habla de público técnico.
When we talk about technical personnel, it is not necessary that the person has a degree, but at least has experience or knowledge in the field of electricity, photovoltaic, energy deficiency issues, and maintenance of photovoltaic equipment and refrigeration.
According to Camilo Saldarriaga, manager of the training and of these workshops, a pre-registration process will begin on May 20th of this year, where all those interested will be able to access a form and register for all the courses they are interested in, and from then on, each workshop will be launched individually 2 weeks before it begins. The courses will begin on June 2nd and will finish at the end of October. All those interested in participating in these trainings should be very attentive to the entity's social networks to know the dates, times, and places where each process will take place.
En esta administración y a febrero del 2022, el Fondo Nacional del Ahorro ha administrado cesantías por 8 billones de pesos. Fondo Nacional del Ahorro, nos mueve lo que sueñas.
As we continue with other local news, the authorities managed to capture 2 people for the crime of theft and possession and trafficking of narcotics. They later had a red notice for the crime of homicide.
National Police managed to capture a citizen by court order who is accused of committing aggravated assault. Accordingly, this offender threatened his victims with a firearm in order to strip them of all their belongings.
El Departamento de Policía San Andrés Providencia.
The Department of San Andres Providence and Santa Catalina, with all its capacity, achieved the capture of 2 people by court order. This person had been carrying out criminal actions and through intimidation with a firearm had been stealing from tourists and residents on the island. By means of a methodological program, we were able to obtain the arrest warrant and of course achieve the capture, and today he is being held in custody. This is to say, today we have 1 less criminal on the island, especially one who had been stealing motorcycles with a firearm.
With a red circular issued by Panama, the other of those captured by the National Police here in San Andres is accused of belonging to a criminal gang that distributed narcotics.
La segunda captura.
The second capture is of alias Chalitos. This person was part of a criminal gang that had been selling narcotics for a gang that was called the VIP. In the month of March, we managed to impact this gang with 3 captures, and alias Chalito, who was captured, of course he was placed at the disposal of the competent authorities and received a measure of intramural detention. Alias Chalito, at the time of his capture, presented 3 identifications. In addition to that, he has a red notice from the country of Panama for the crime of homicide.
These captured persons were placed at the disposal of the competent authorities who ordered them to be placed under intramural detention.
And the commander of the police department made public 2 motorcycle robberies that occurred in the last days in our archipelago.
The first case was to some tourists who were visiting our department, and the second was to a person who was passing through the area.
In recent days, there were 2 motorcycle robberies. The first was on Saturday when a motorcycle was stolen from some tourists, but thanks to the immediate reaction, they were recovered in the sector of San Luis. Likewise, yesterday around 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the sector of Zuotas, a motorcycle was stolen from a person. Then the motorcycle was taken to the sector of Bait, where, of course, thanks to the reaction and the information provided, we managed to locate this motorcycle and also the recovery and delivery to their owners.
The colonel stated that it is vital importance to keep abreast to avoid this type of event, and also invites the community that may have any information to find the criminals who commit these crimes to make it known at the headquarters of the police department of San Andres.
In order to continue improving the attention to tourists who visit the archipelago, the inauguration of a new information point took place in the last hours.
The Secretary of Tourism, Jonathan Taylor Diaz, delivered good news to the community of the department after receiving the touristic information pipe located in the pedestrian pathway of Pratt Bight, which was achieved in alliance of the departmental government and Fontur.
Hoy se complacen en entregar.
Today we are pleased to deliver the improvements that we have been making in terms of public and tourist infrastructure of the department. On this occasion, we are fortunate to deliver this work to the community, which was developed by our government in alliance with Fontur for the benefit of tourists and residents.
This touristic information pipe represents an advance in terms of public tourism infrastructure, achieving the approach and safety of tourists and residents which visit our archipelago.
And now let's get to know other facts that are making news today in our brief news section.
Environmental Corporation Coralina conducted in New Providence the program Protecting My Planet. Through the biodiversity program, the students of the Maria Immaculada and Junin schools received information about the ecosystems present in the Seaflower Biosphere Reserve, as well as practical activities to identify the fauna and flora of the island. The Secretariat of Mobility and its pedagogical group conducted an awareness-raising session, creating consciousness about the need to respect traffic regulations for all drivers of off-road type vehicles known on the island as mule, who has been involved in many road accidents in the department during the last few weeks. The Secretariat of Agriculture and Fisheries, with the support of the Colombian Agricultural Institute, ICA, conducted a theoretical and practical training to provide technical support to farmers in the prevention, management, and monitoring of pests present in their plants, with the aim of contributing to the development of the agricultural sector of the department.